MockIT Esports. That, of course, is going to be our next match. Still to come, we have Cloud9 versus Flipside Tactics and Scissor Cobb versus Method. But right now, let's meet the two teams that will be coming up in the next match.
Now entering Esports Arena for their quarterfinals match, MockIT Esports, Fairy Peak and Pashi. Now entering Esports Arena, DAPG, Dapper, and Garrett G.
We will be back right after this for the next quarterfinal here at the Universal Open Rocket League Grand Finals here at the Esports Arena in Santa Ana, California.
Get the alpha, be the alpha. HyperX.
Universal Open is presented by Rocket League. Play for fun, live to play.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back here to the Universal Open Rocket League Grand Finals at the Esports Arena in Santa Ana, California. Of course, we have 16 of the best teams here in 2v2 Rocket League competing for $100,000. And as you guys can see there, we do have a double elimination tournament, which means that if any of these teams lose, you see tonight, as we are in the winner's bracket, they are not eliminated from the tournament altogether. They will fall to the lower brackets where they will fight for their tournament lives. We're going to be best of threes all the way until the upper and lower bracket finals. And then, of course, the grand finals will be a best of 7. How did they get here? Of course, we've already gone through 4 televised regionals over the past few weeks to get 8 of our U.S. teams, but we pulled in 4 squads from Europe and 4 more squads from a U.S. Open to give us our 16 teams that you see competing here at the event today. Now, of course, we've already gone through a lot of matches, and there have been some surprises up to this point, to be frank. But as the tournament goes on, it seems like the strong teams that we kind of expected to start doing well have started to kind of settle in and do very well. All right, guys, so I want to get a little bit of an analysis from you guys on this, right? Because it does seem like to me it was a shaky start for a lot of teams, right? We saw G2 go down right away. A lot of teams went to 3 games we didn't expect. But now, especially in Game 3 of that last series, the real Gale Force showed. So is that part of it? Is it just nerves and these guys are getting used to the LAN environment? Is that maybe account for some of the parity we've seen so far?
I think that's a huge part of it, getting used to this environment. It's really just so different how you normally play at home. We've talked about this before, Kevin. Just playing at home, so much more comfortable. That's where you've been playing your whole life. And then coming to, I mean, this arena, it's a crowd, people cheering, yelling. That can really just so easily affect you.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get to our next match and look at the teams that are going to be competing here, as a matter of fact. And we're going to start things off with MockIT Esports, with Pashi and Fairy Peak, as we mentioned before. Now, these are, of course, guys that have been synonymous with Rocket League throughout their entire careers. But there were some questions coming into this to see, well, is Pashi really still on top? Has he lost a little bit of his edge? But so far, things look to be pretty good so far for MockIT Esports. Now, DAPG, on the other hand, is a bit of a combination of players, as we have one of the best 1v1 players in the world in Dapper, who plays for Renegades, teaming up with Garrett G, who is one of the absolute best players in Rocket League, period, right now. And he, of course, comes from Team Energy. But right now with DAPG, we've got Alex, our reporter, standing by.
All right, let's talk to these guys before the match starts. Beginning with Dapper, dude. Great job in the first match, but now we're here in the quarterfinals and you're trying to play to get into tomorrow in the semifinals, of course. Tell me about your day and how you're feeling right now, man.
It's been a long day. Been here since 10, warming up. I'm kind of tired, but trying to focus so we can get the win.
Yeah, it's a lot of games. It can really be taxing on these players. Let's go over to Garrett here. Garrett, we see MockIT over there. They've been very much in the pro scene for a long time in Rocket League. You've played them before. What are your keys to victory here, man? What do you need to focus on to take them out?
I think having a strong defense against these guys is going to be important. You know, I know they're really good at dribbling and double taps off the wall, so just a strong midfield defense especially. I think that's what you need to focus on.
All right, well, best of luck, guys. That's DAPG looking to go into the semifinals.
That's right, so let's go ahead and take a look at these two teams and how they got to this point. DAPG was the squad that actually won the Midwest Regional, and they have so far taken down Fibion. One of the real surprises of this whole 2v2 tournament, though, and we'll get into a little bit of them for the TV audience here in a bit. MockIT Esports, on the other hand, they were semifinalists at the European Invitational, and they've already successfully taken down, honestly, another decent surprise of the tournament in Wabi Sabi, a U.S. Open team that not a lot of people had expectations for, but have performed pretty well. And it looks like we're about to jump into the game here in just a second, so we'll get that underway soon. But let's get a couple last thoughts here about what we expect from these matches, right? And as you guys noticed before, Quinn has actually joined us back on the desk again, so thank you so much for being here. But what are our keys to this game, and what do you think needs to happen from the super flashy DAPG squad to be able to take out consistent performers in MockIT Esports?
Right, well, DAPG in particular, both two incredibly skilled individual 1v1 players. I mean, you put any of these guys in a 1v1 situation, they are the favorites against anybody. And so they're going to be looking, and they have been throughout the tournament, looking to put themselves in 1v1 situations. But against a team like MockIT that prefers to play counterattack type of Rocket League, they prefer to, you know, let you have the ball and then catch you making mistakes and capitalize. I think we're going to have to see them make some better team plays so that they don't take so many risks against MockIT.
All right, guys, well, let's go ahead and bring back in our casters from upstairs again and turn it back over to Jorby and James.
All right, it's Jorby and James Bot here with me on the caster's desk, getting ready for this next. I think this is going to be a super close best of three. I think it's going to go all three games. And MockIT, they set it on the desk, just so good dribbling the ball out. Fairy Peak can just pepper the shots, pepper the net with shots. Dapper, arguably the best player in the game in space, and it's going to be crazy going back and forth.
Dapper, you said the best player in space, the best 1v1 player in North America, and this is really going to be a classic battle of North America versus Europe. And traditionally in Rocket League competitions, Europe is the supreme region. They have won 2 world championships where North America has only won 1, and they usually tout the best players. So this is a chance for the best of North America to take one against the European Titans.
And definitely, especially the last month or so, and just for that Europe versus North America has really started to take shots back against Europe, and that storyline has just been an ever-evolving storyline in the history of Rocket League esports. So it's definitely something that people are aware of and something people pay attention to. And as we move into this next game, it's just another matchup here that we see, you know, Dapper and Garrett. these are two of the best players in the game. Garrett is arguably one of the best all-around players, probably top 3 in the entire game, I would say, in my opinion. Then going up against MockIT, Pashy, they mentioned on the desk maybe he's losing a step a little bit. I'm not really sure that he's shown that he's losing anything in this 2v2 tournament so far.
Yeah, they have proven that they're really good. I mean, Fairy Peak, we didn't see it on air, but he was hitting some insane shots. He is such a good shooter. He's the MVP of MockIT for me. But then on the other side, we have DAPG, 2 players teaming up for this event. They aren't traditionally teammates. They usually don't play a lot together, but for this competition, they paired up because they are so good individually. But what we've seen from them is they don't really use each other to the best of their abilities. Quinn was talking about it on the desk. In a one-on-one situation, Garrett G or Dapper, they're going to beat you. But in this 2v2 situation, they still are tending to play a more individualistic game style, and they need to open up and start working each other into the equation.
For those of you tuning in NBC SN, first of all, welcome. And if you're enjoying Rocket League, if this is your first time ever watching Rocket League, well, we got more for you tomorrow. Coverage continuing tomorrow of you streaming at 1:30 to, I believe, 8 p.m. and then 6 to 8 on NBC SN as well. You'll be able to find streams online at twitch.tv/FACEIT. But that's enough, because we got some Rocket League to play, James Bond. Let's get this underway. It's DAPG in blue and MockIT Esports in orange. This gets straight underway. Garrett G pushing it downfield, but slapped right back in the corner by Pashy, looking for the ball towards the net. Knocked away by both members of DAPG, moving down. That's a 2v1 opportunity. Who is that going up and over-saved by Fairy Peak? That was Dapper. So dangerous in those 1v1s.
Dapper thought he had an opening, and oh, look at that pinch off the wall. This might set him up.
Now it bounces off the ramp awkwardly, but still gets a shot off Garrett right off the crossbar. Cannot find it. 35 seconds gone already. Plenty of action between these two teams. You see the pace of the game just gets a little bit faster as the competition gets so much tighter as we head through the bracket. DAPG trying to find the ball here. A nice pick headed towards the box, but he has to fall back, and Pashy able to clear that one out towards midfield. But right now, MockIT Esports really struggling to get it out of their own end. They're able to get it out here. It seems like they can get an opportunity. Dapper gets sent to space. Garrett coming around with the shot by Pashy. Could not find the ball. Fairy Peak in support off the backboard. Pashy shot. Goal. 1-0.
So you see there was a block that caused that ball to bounce off the backboard, and then Fairy Peak, instead of shooting, hits it high. Dapper and Garrett G both went for that ball, and because of that, Pashy had a wide open shot on net, and he did not let MockIT down. They take the lead 1-0.
Yeah, MockIT striking first, 1 minute and 9 seconds gone in this game, and right now DAPG gonna tie it right back up on the face-off. Garrett G.
We see a kickoff goal coming out. Dapper and Pashy, they just pinched that ball right off the kickoff, and Garrett is the first one to it. Pashy had no hope of making that save, and an immediate response from DAPG.
You know, in face-offs, it can be so hard to be able to read what the other player is going to do. You angle your car in the right way, and you can try to force the ball in a favorable position, and that kind of play can really be beneficial if you can read the car correctly in the face-off. It's so hard because the cars are just flying so fast. But 1.5 minutes gone, tied up, and DAPG slowly taking control of this ball, flying up quickly.
Oh.
That could be dangerous. Garrett G staying on the ball, but Pashy's able to clear it away.
Yeah, that was a light touch. They were just trying to catch the defensive MockIT out. DAPG is throwing everything they have at this MockIT defense, breaking them down. They do seem like the superior team right now, but all that could change. Still 3 minutes left on this clock.
Trying to move down midfield. Dapper's got something to say about that as he throws it to the corner. Dapper, that one knocked away by MockIT. Still, it's towards the box. That can be so deadly, and almost a double commit by DAPG allows MockIT to take control. Now they're in DAPG's corner. Throwing it out towards midfield, caught and thrown away. There by Pashy, up for Fairy Peak. And that's just thrown towards the net and saved by Garrett G over from Pashy. Throwing over both MockIT defenders, getting up there somehow. Rocket League, you just have such a crazy amount of control over your car. You can just turn it around, flip it around. You've got all this boost fly your car in the air and do wacky things with it, and you just see how much control these players have. That shot just knocked away by Fairy Peak. Still tied up, and DAPG looking for an opportunity here. Dapper's potential shot knocked away here by Fairy Peak.
Yeah, Dapper did a good job of stealing that boost in the corner. DAPG is putting so much pressure on. You wonder how much can MockIT take before they break, and that's it. Garrett G breaks the defense for MockIT after continued pressure. You see that launching it up off the backboard. Fairy probably had no boost to deal with, and Garrett puts that top shelf unreachable, and DAPG take the lead.
2 minutes left. Garrett G and Dapper right now taking advantage. You even heard that both members of Gale Force were split on who they thought was going to take this in a wide angle. Garrett had to wrap completely around this ball flying full speed. It's 3-1.
There was no room for error on this. The bump from Dapper sends Fairy flying, and Garrett gets around that ball and puts it top shelf yet again. That's an oh my Garrett moment, really showing us that he's one of the best.
And now a 3-1 scoreline. Said before that a 2-goal lead in Rocket League could be the most dangerous one. With not a lot of time left, and DAPG with control, they might be able to just choke out MockIT Esports and hold them as time marches on. In the corner, Garrett ends up flipping under. Dapper in support, stays on it here. You see these fights in the corner, and eventually one player comes away with it, or opposite field it goes. MockIT Esports slowly moving it downfield, trying to get a goal to pull within one. In the corner, high off the backboard. Fairy Peak looking for Pashy. Pashy does find it. Just going end to end, trying to get that ball, trying to get a shot on net, but DAPG doesn't relent and takes it the other end of the field.
But what you were seeing, Pashy stole the corner boost, and Fairy Peak stole that one as well, so DAPG, now they have a chance, though, on a counterattack.
That shot is just wide, and that would have been the death knell for MockIT Esports here in game number 1.
And that was a chance for them to use a passing play, but instead they just took the outright shot, and it was easily blocked.
Oh, he's got it here off the post! All he had to do was smack it against the post, and Garrett G makes the save. MockIT trying to turn this around high off the backboard. Can he find it? Dapper beats him to it, still in play. That shot turned around by Garrett G. Less than 30 seconds left to go. Can they find it? A demolition coming out. That takes a player out completely for at least 3 seconds. Trying to find the goal.
Dapper
cannot find it. Dapper makes another save. Time ticking down. Dapper and Garrett just keeping the ball away from MockIT Esports, and they can't find it, and it's looking like DAPG take game number 1 here in this quarterfinals.
So
a flip, oh no, off the post! And that could have been a 1-second opportunity where the next on the face-off, they could have had one chance to tie the game up. But DAPG, whenever this ball hits the ground, because these players are so good at keeping the ball up forever, there it hits.
Yeah, and in Rocket League, if you're just tuning in, when the clock hits 0, the game is not over until the ball touches the ground. So that's why it took a little bit to end. But DAPG, they were on fire. They conceded that early goal, but from then on, they were just playing at a completely different pace than MockIT. Fairy was shut out for the longest time, didn't even have a shot until very late in the game. Garrett G, you see, scoring all 3 of those goals. He really was something else in game 1.
And we got to look at some of these highlights here that just shows you why DAPG is so good. We're going to see the first goal that came out from MockIT, their only goal of the game, just splitting the defenders, but then Garrett G happened. And when Garrett G happens, well, it's just lose.
Yes, we have that saying, oh my Garrett, because he does things that just make your jaw drop. Utter mechanical skill, technical skill, speed, almost unmatched in the Rocket League scene. And then you see Dapper paving the way for him, but still, Garrett had to get to that ball and put it on target. DAPG looked solid in game number 1, and they might be able to close this series out if they win this game and send their European foes down into that lower bracket.
I'd like to just give a little highlights to bumps and demolitions. Just I like to say that there are 3 phases to the game of Rocket League. There's offense, there's defense, and then there's demolitions. And taking a player completely out of the game for 3 seconds can be so huge, especially in 2v2, even just bumps. Because when you bump somebody, you just send them flying away, and it's so hard to regain control of your card afterwards. But we're going to get right into game number 2. DAPG, they win this one. They move on to the winner's semifinals. And if MockIT is able to win this, they'll force game 3. But Even if they lose, they still have one more chance in the lower bracket. 10 seconds in, MockIT's looking to try to find that first goal yet again. In midfield, Dapper and Garrett move down. They're just going to play in the midfield and control that midfield boost. The boost and map control are such a crucial part of the game of Rocket League as well. And just starving your opponent out, and those mid boosts are so important to putting on those offensive opportunities.
Well, boost, you see there, the big boosts all around the field in the corners and at half, those give you 100. They fill out your boots, and Garrett's going to use some to score the first goal. Look at this play by him. This is what we like to call a mind game. Dapper wins that 50-50, and then you see Ferry thought Garrett was going to shoot the shot in, so he comes out to contest it, and no, Garrett just lets him fly right by and gets that first goal for DAPG.
Broken axles and broken hearts for MockIT on that play. As DAPG gets the early goal and they get the second goal as well. Dapper just slams it in 2-0.
They scored a kickoff goal in the last game. They do it yet again. You see Dapper up in the air so quickly, and really the speed is what's separating DAPG from MockIT right now. DAPG, they're contesting every ball. They're getting it to it a split second faster and winning those 50-50 moments where you don't know who's going to win a challenge. Well, DAPG is making those 50-50s more like 90-10s in their favor.
Absolutely, and still moving downfield. MockIT's struggling to get it out of their own ends. And a nice bump allows MockIT to maintain possession. Passion and support from Fairy Peak. Now a 2v1 opportunity, but Fairy Peak is immediately challenged and has to chase this ball down back towards midfield. They can barely even grab the boost or anything, and the demolition on Dapper was probably critical because it looked like he might have had the passing play there. There's a passing play, but it's off the crossbar, and MockIT, he had the opportunity. You gotta score if you're MockIT there.
Yeah, that was a golden opportunity for them to get one on the board. They're already down by 2 early. Every opportunity that they let slip through the cracks is going to be regretted.
Garrett G staying the course, able to clear that ball away. MockIT, with the few opportunities that they have had, have just been, the door has been slammed shut so far. Only about 2 minutes gone. It's 2-0 for Dapper and Garrett G. But MockIT looking like they're slowly trying to turn things in their favor. That shot slapped up to space. And they're going to carry it away to the orange zone yet again. But Garrett G gets it over to, and he gets sent to oblivion. That ball just rolling towards the box. MockIT trying to play it slow, but DAPG's not letting them. They're just getting up in their face. Like, if you're just going to sit there with the ball, I'm going to hit you in the face.
That's so true. There is no room for MockIT to breathe. Every time they try to slow it down, DAPG just challenges them and knocks the ball away. That's completely throwing off the offensive MockIT.
Halfway through this game, it's still 2-0 for DAPG. This game continues on the pace it's been going. They will be moving on to the winners semis in this bracket, the Universal Open. Just keeping the ball away from MockIT. You'll see when the clock gets about to less than 2 minutes, Dapper and Garrett will most likely just be playing keep away from MockIT Esports. They've kind of been doing it for the last minute already.
Oh, that's
a nice pick. They're gonna get that goal and pull within one. Fairy Peak.
A little bit of overconfidence here. You see Dapper coming in, contesting that when he should have just stayed back. That wasn't a hard shot, but because Dapper was the last defender and missed that challenge, it was a wide open net for Fairy Peak, who just gets an easy goal.
On this face-off, looked like it might have been favorable for DAPG, but was MockIT already up on the play, read the bounce nicely. That shot just wide and turned away by Dapper. And Dapper staying on it, booms it downfield against the back wall, trying to fight off the defenders. That could be a potential one-on-one opportunity. The ball dangling in midair, coming down, and Pesci not able to finish it off. 1:30 left to go. MockIT desperately trying to find the tying goal, turning straight around, trying to take a shot, and that's going to be wide. Dapper slamming it to the side. MockIT, can they keep it in play? Dapper just rolls it to the corner.
And still, DAPG is trying to get boost. MockIT still has the upper hand right now.
Well, could not get it away. Like you said, just that shot, is that in? No. You just see some of these shots, and Dapper and Garrett, great goaltending and great defense. MockIT's had control. They've had their opportunities. They just cannot score.
And it really just, the defense from DAPG has been so so astonishingly good. But
there it is, a break.
chance.
He's got it. That's the tie game. Fairy Peak, he got the loose ball, and with 50 seconds on the clock, it's 2-2.
And you see there, Garrett G just coming out with the loss there in that 50-50 challenge, and the ball just spits out in the worst possible spot for them. MockIT taking advantage, and they tie it up with less than a minute left to go.
That is 2 unanswered goals for MockIT Esports. Can they continue? Really, if they just hold out, they'll at least force in overtime. In midfield, moving down, that's a 2v1 opportunity. Tries to bully it, and Pashi carries it up. And it's 3-2. MockIT takes the lead.
Look at this play from Pashi. He jumps, wave dashes right there. That's a high-level move. Retains possession of the ball, and then side flips to flick that right in there to get the lead. That play by Pashi was incredible.
Not 13 seconds after the tying goal, MockIT able to find another, and now they have the lead in DAPG. They're going to have to answer quickly, otherwise we'll be headed to game number 3. This time is running out for DAPG. That ball's going to go in. It's 4-2.
It is just starting to get out of hand in favor of MockIT. Fairy with a touch out. Garrett, again, trying to challenge it, but he had no hope of making 2 at first. Dapper, he was already upfield from a previous challenge, so the net was just wide open. MockIT 4-2 after being down, really taking advantage of
Trying for the fake kickoff. You'll see sometimes players opt to just not hit the ball and try to get it to your teammate downfield. That time not working out for them, and 2 goals with 10 seconds left for about 3.5 minutes. DAPG seemed to have taken the game, and then MockIT scored 4 goals in the span of a single minute, and we are going to game number 3.
That really was just a breakout performance by MockIT against this DAPG team. It looked like they were down and out and they were going to be sent down into the lower bracket, but they just came alive. So if the MockIT we saw at the end of that game is what comes into the beginning of this next game 3, this final game 3, then it is going to look grim for DAPG.
And those 2 goals did come early, and after that, MockIT shut down DAPG's offense. Only 4 shots on goal total. You look at comparison, it's 10 for MockIT Esports. We always talk about the shot differential and how important it is, and unless you're a team like, you'll see later Method that are so good at controlling the boost, and just looking at some of the highlights here, Garrett G, a nice fake. You'll see those fakes that are so nice. And these first 2 goals off the kickoff, you just got to take advantage of something like that. But then MockIT coming and storming back in, finding every opportunity, just throwing everything towards them.
Yeah, it seemed like DAPG got a little overconfident. Their challenges were starting to get a little too slow. Maybe that was MockIT reacting and adjusting to that high-speed play of DAPG. They took advantage of that one bounce in their favor. And then this dribble by Pashi, that was something special. Really, that play sealed it for MockIT. And then they got a little bit of insurance with that 4th goal by Pashi in the final seconds, but MockIT looked devastatingly good at the end of game 2.
They really did, and we're hopping right into game number 3. These players are ready as they take their sides of the field. It's the rubber match between MockIT Esports and DAPG. Winner moving on to the winners semifinals, and the loser, they're going to have quite the road ahead of them to try to stay alive in this double elimination tournament.
And a European team has yet to lose in the Universal Open Rocket League Grand Final.
Open
Dapper! Oh, another early goal for DAPG.
This is all Garrett. There's that double tap and a missed hit on the back wall. Backwall and backboard defense is so crucial at the highest level. If you do not get that touch on the ball, that's easy pickings for any high-level player on offense. Now 1-0, real quick for DAPG. MockIT Esports find themselves down yet again early. We'll see if they can respond a little bit quicker than they did in game 2 and not make themselves sweat so much. It goes quickly downfield. There's no one back, and Dapper had to work back from midfield to make that save, and working end-to-end again. Dapper off the corner, caught by Fairy Peak. Fairy Peak challenged quickly by Dapper. Now Pashi's gonna have to try to carry this out. Still it's Dapper. Fairy Peak and Pashi take control. Pashi passed one. Pashi chasing it down.
Demo.
Fairy Peak got rid of his teammate. Coming up, can he find the angle? Dapper stays with it the whole way, and if he doesn't do that, Fairy Peak has a free shot.
Dapper making that play bought his teammate Garrett enough time to respawn, get boosted, get back in the action. That was just fantastic defense from Dapper.
Corner, MockIT still trying to find that shot opportunity. Off to the side. Fairy Peak looking for Pashy. He does find him. Look back towards midfield. Fairy Peak again. Looking for the crossbar. Pashy against the back wall. Gets the second tap. It's high off the ceiling. Fairy Peak trying to find the shot, but it's wide. Towards midfield it goes. MockIT unable to find the net. Good defense by DAPG. Playing well in the corners and then also playing in front of the box just as well.
Yeah, you saw that half flip by Dapper to get that contest on the ball. They're really so mechanically good, but the net's wide open.
Pashy taking advantage of that open net, like you just said, in a tied game with 3:04 left.
You see there a miss-hit from Dapper on the wall. He wanted to hit it downfield, accidentally crosses it across the field for Pashy, who is not going to miss that wide open net, and we are equalized one apiece with 3 minutes left on the clock.
These teams are probably going to go tit for tat the whole way. Not one ever going to give them too much room to work with. Pashy carrying this one down, that ball heading to the other side of MockIT territory.
And this is so important. Whoever loses this game gets
could be
sent
bad. That's
down
a 2v1
in the lower
opportunity.
bracket.
The pass quickly broken up by Dapper, and this just shows you the aggression. That ball headed straight towards the net and saved by Fairy Peak. Those passes can be so crucial to just get up there and challenge it. It's scary, but sometimes it's the best way to challenge and defend those balls. MockIT trying to move downfield. We are more than halfway through this game as DAPG looking to just try to keep it away. Keep possession of the ball.
And Garrett and Fairy Peak were in a staring match right there. Neither one of them wanting to give up ground.
Throwing it over. Garrett G looking for Dapper. Back to Garrett. Garrett just pulls away from it and actually allows DAPG to maintain possession. He goes up. He goes under. Dapper, you are ridiculous. It's 2-1 for DAPG.
Dapper, there's a graveyard of axles left behind as he beats Pashy, mind games Fairy, and puts in the go-ahead goal. Dapper showing us why he is a 1v1 superstar.
The game is going so fast, and when you have 3 minutes of straight just slapping the ball around the field and then they just stop, it can just throw you off completely, and Dapper is the best at just changing speeds instantly. And it gives DAPG this 1-goal lead late in game at number 3. MockIT tries to tie it up yet again. DAPG, excuse me, 3-1. He slips it between the defense.
Yeah, again, each one of these players showing us their prowess and their 1v1 ability. That time, Garrett G just coming in, passing to himself off the sidewall and just blasting that shot into the net. 3-1 lead now. 2 goals separating these sides. MockIT has to get something going. All the momentum in favor of DAPG.
MockIT finds themselves in a very similar position that they found themselves in game 1 at around this mark. Can they score 2 goals and tie this game up yet again? To find out, they are going to move it downfield. But Dapper and Garrett work to move it downfield. A great challenge in midfield. Allows DAPG to keep the ball around. Garrett G lost possession to Fairy Peak. Fairy Peak taking a wide angle with that boost.
That was a fantastic play by Garrett G. He had no boost, and he saw Dapper was left all alone, and he hustled back just to knock the ball out of reach of that MockIT player.
Less than a minute to go. This is the wrong end of the field if you're MockIT Esports and you'll want to win this game. And Garrett G was just waiting in the corner to take that, and Garrett G almost pitches, squeezes that ball in, but it is saved by MockIT, and they're going to move it downfield quickly, and it's just slapped right back over.
And DAPG, they are playing with so much confidence, but now here's a 1v1 chance.
Can he get it? Oh, he's playing slow, and he slips it in. Fairy Peak. It is so hard to tell if, you're forced as a rabbit being chased by a fox here. Going left, going right. Where's he going to go? I don't know. He's just got all the room to work with.
Yeah, and then you see him there putting it low and to the far side of the net. That was perfect placement by Fairy Peak. The hopes of MockIT are alive, but they need to get one and force overtime.
And the face-off goes the way of DAPG. That's an open net, and that's a goal! Garrett G puts the them up by 2 yet again with only 20 seconds
and
left.
Another kickoff goal for DAPG. The speed on their kickoffs have been unmatched by MockIT, and they take advantage of it yet again. That might be the goal that secures it for DAPG.
Can MockIT, we really think they got to win this face-off to get this, at least have to get a goal with time left. That's not going to happen.
DAPG, their prowess on the face-off is just something you don't normally see. MockIT is a team of the highest caliber, and on the face-off, DAPG is just having their way with them.
It really is kind of uncanny how many face-offs they are winning and taking control of immediately. DAPG just playing right now a tier above MockIT. These are very similarly skilled players. They are just getting advantage everywhere. MockIT's going to get a goal here, but it's just too little too late.
Yeah,
it really takes about 3 seconds off the face-off.
Well, they have done it before. MockIT is the only, they have the record for the 2 quickest goals. They scored 2 goals in 6 seconds, so it's not impossible, but highly unlikely. However, DAPG, they really came alive in this game, and they could close it out right here, and it looks like they will.
And winning another face-off will seal the deal, and it will be DAPG scoring another goal, because why not? They'll be moving on to the winners semifinals, and MockIT has a battle ahead of them in the losers.
That is a cherry on top of this victory Sunday. DAPG really showing us that they have 2 of the most talented players in the world, and they were my number 2 team in North America coming into this. They did not disappoint, taking down this European team. The first time that Europe has lost a series in the Universal Open Rocket League Grand Final.
See, the further we've gone on in this tournament, we saw DAPG early in the tournament. The rotations really weren't as tight as they were now. Maybe they're just getting so much more comfortable with each other as they play. And we take a look at some of these highlights, you're going to see why. It's just the rotation's so tight on the offense, and that's just a nice play by Garrett G against the backline and open net. You know, we saw so much of that, just defensive miscues by MockIT, and DAPG's going to take advantage of every single one.
Yeah, and they were just playing with incredible speed. And then that play by Dapper, that was so dirty. I couldn't believe that he did that to him, making him look silly. The best players in the world, Dapper making him look silly, but FACEIT with his dribble in a 2v1 situation, he brought him right back. But in the end, what the difference was for DAPG was that kickoff goal strategy that they had. They scored kickoff goal after kickoff goal, and that's what got them the win.
Well, we're going to go straight down to Alex, who's with DAPG right now.
Yeah, so happy to be with DAPG right now. We got Dapper over here, Garrett G, 2 North American Titans who just took out MockIT. Awesome showing, guys. Dapper, I want to start with you. I lost my mind when you did that fake. That was awesome. That was amazing. But talk to me through that series. Did it take a while to get in the groove, or did you kind of feel in control the whole way?
We're a lot more comfortable this series, because first series of LANs, we were always uncomfortable. This season we came in a lot more confident, a lot more comfortable, so I think we just played better.
Yeah, same question to you, man. How are you feeling during that series, pulling it against MockIT?
I don't know. I kind of came into the series with a different mindset. We just wanted to have fun and, you know, just mess around with the 2's format. So I think just being relaxed really gave us an advantage against them.
Yeah, you guys get to go home, you know, get some sleep, come back tomorrow for a semifinal. Now, yeah, and the crowd's on your side, too. They want to see you do well. But you're going up against a team called Gale Force Esports. And they're pretty good, at least I think. Do you guys think Gale Force Esports is good? What are you expecting out of that match tomorrow?
I think K-Dop is actually one of the best strikers in the world. Like, every shot he hits is always, like, max speed, if not, like, just a crazy spot where you can't save it, and it's going to be tough. But I think, I don't know, we could probably do it. I think we have a chance, a good chance.
I think you can, too. Garrett, same question to you, man. Gale Force, what are your thoughts?
Probably definitely the favorite to win this tournament, you know, if I was an outsider looking in. But, you know, like any other tournament, you know, we're just going to try to show up and, you know, we'll see if we can beat them.
And you're making a history, taking out these European teams, too. Remember from the X Games as well. So let's give it up one more time for DAPG. Moving on to the finals to face off against Gale Force Esports. Good luck, guys.
All right, let's take a look at the brackets as our first semifinal is now set as Gale Force Esports advanced past Ambition Esports, and DAPG has just taken out MockIT Esports. So Gale Force versus DAPG is coming up soon. But coming up next, we are going to have 2 very awesome teams facing off. Flipside Tactics, one of the favorites to come out of Europe. They're going to be going up against Cloud9, one of the best teams in the world, period. Come back for more quarterfinal action here out of the Universal Open Rocket League Tournament.